Chip Kelly tells us he's excited to be back coaching a position again for the first time in several years as he started his first spring. Everybody started this spring, but he started his first spring with Ohio State football today, Tuesday, at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center. I'm Nathan Baird from cleveland.com along with Stephen Means and Andrew Gillis. And press conference afterwards, everything kind of runs a gamut of everything you could think of to ask because there's a lot on the table. The relationship he has with Ryan Day, what his how his offense or his play calling experience is going to work with Ryan Day's offense, which, by the way, was kind of just Chip Kelly's offense at the start that Ryan Day has modified, and Chip Kelly coaching quarterbacks for the first time in a while, but at the same time, Chip Kelly saying, no, I was just coaching them in our bowl game last year because their offensive coordinator had left or the quarterback's coach had left. So we're just kind of pondering right now, after what we heard today and the way they're talking about their relationship and how these duties are going to be split up. Steven, bigger impact from Chip Kelly this season, prediction here, as the offensive coordinator or as the quarterback's coach?
I think it's the offensive coordinator because the room is the room, and while Ryan Day has both told the players and has pseudo told us he's taking his hands off, he's not getting out of the car. I mean, he's still the head coach of the football team, so he's going to have some level of, especially when we get to fall camp, I think he's probably over-exaggerating how much he's going to be in some other places because he's trying to build muscle memory and how he's doing some of these things. I don't think he's going to have zero involvement with the quarterbacks because that's what he is. He's a quarterback. You got to ask that. You're a quarterback whisperer. That's what you do. So it's going to still be a part of this. He gave up play calling. And that's like the biggest thing that he's done as a head coach so far. And that's going to show up in those moments where maybe we've questioned his play calling over the last couple of years. And is it going to be better or is it going to be worse? It's not going to be the same. It's going to be better or it's going to be worse. And so that's why it's the bigger impact. When it's the fourth quarter against Michigan and it's a close game, maybe, depending on what's going on over there in Michigan, and it's 3rd and 2 or it's 4th and 2 and you're in plus territory, there's where the difference is. There's where the impact is. The impact is when you're out at Eugene next year and it's a situation like that. That's where the impact is. So can the quarterback play be 10% better than Kyle McCord is next year and be fine? I think so, yes. I don't think that's a big enough impact on the quarterback position alone for it to be quarterback when you're talking about the quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator who's also calling plays. It has to be the thing that we have spent the last 2 years at times questioning Ryan Day's ability to still do that because of everything else he has to do.
Chip Kelly did say, I think the play calling is still going to be collaborative, which people probably groaned about. But really, I think what that probably means is it's a tweak of what Ryan Day had with Kevin Wilson, which is you're still talking through a lot of things. And now instead of being the play caller who's talking through things with a former head coach who is the offensive coordinator, now you're the head coach talking through things with your offensive coordinator. It's just a tweak of that dynamic. I still expect Chip Kelly to be the one calling plays. Andrew, same question to you. Do you see right now, foresee the bigger impact as Chip Kelly offensive coordinator or Chip Kelly quarterbacks coach?
It's the offensive coordinator, but I think if we were doing this in a long-term discussion, it's the quarterback room, because I think the quarterback room is about development. When you kind of look at where the guys are at right now, you got Will Howard. He's going into his 5th year. Like, you want to see the development of these guys, but that's a long-term thing. I think for this year, it's the offensive coordinator, and I think that's where he's going to have the most impact, because he mentioned in his press conference, and something that really stuck out to me was that he said, a lot of people think I run the spread, and a lot of other people think I run the wing tee. And one of the things that just kind of clicked in my head when he said that was, okay, he doesn't know what he's going to really run yet, right? And he mentioned the athleticism of the offensive line. He credited that, and I think he's going to throw it, but I think horizontal run game, I know stretch to the boundary is a very touchy subject for some people, but like those are the type of things that I think he's going to implement, and I think he just kind of wants to get a holistic look at this offense and then start putting his fingerprints on it. I think you're going to see those fingerprints very early, and I think you're going to see those fingerprints everywhere on the offense, and that includes the quarterback position. Ryan Day mentioned it today, that every quarterback can run, that every quarterback that they have in that room is mobile and that can do some things with their legs. So I think you're just all-encompassing. I think it's the offensive coordinator position, because you're going to see what Chip Kelly's doing with this offense. Now, if we were to have this conversation in 2025 or 2026, yeah, I think it's quarterback room, because then you need to develop Aaron Nolan. You need to develop Julian Sain. You need to develop Lincoln Keenholz, and even Devin Brown to some extent. I know Devin Brown's been around longer than those guys have, but for now, it's the offensive coordinator spot.
This is a trick question because the answer is it's equal. They're going to be equally important, I think. And it's because of something Ryan Day said today that resonated with me. A year ago when he was trying to make the decision of how he was going to handle play calling, whether he was going to pass it off, etc. He ultimately just felt like he had to keep play calling and had to, because of the relationship that play calling and the quarterbacks have together, that you have to be on the same page as your quarterbacks as the play caller. And he started to go through a list of, he was asked like point blank, why Chip Kelly is a quarterback's coach when that's not really where he has maybe the most experience positionally in his long coaching career. It's been offensive line, it's been running backs, it's kind of been all over the place, frankly. And Ryan Day started to kind of go down the list of reasons, but then he hit on the thing of, when you talk through why you're calling a play on Saturday, on all week, and then you go to call that play on Saturday, the quarterback doesn't hesitate as to why you're calling the play. He knows why you're calling the play because that's what you've been building towards all week. Like that explanation, that logic has already been built into the game plan. And I think that is going to be important because Ryan Day is stepping away from that completely. He's not having those same conversations. It's going to be Chip Kelly. Sounds like he might be down on the field on game days. He'll be down there looking quarterbacks in the eye and talking to them, but also just kind of having that overall vibe of the game, and that whole unit has to work in tandem together. So I think it's probably going to be important that he could have a bigger impact in both of those areas than people who might think one or the other would think. More talk about this on Buckeye Talk. Maybe better talk about this on Buckeye Talk. Get that wherever you can find podcasts. And get the text 614-350-3315. All the things that we hear and see around Ohio State spring practice this spring will be coming to you there from cleveland.com.